On this episode of Real Estate Renegades, we discuss the imminent exit of Purple Bricks and what that means to you when a discounter, well-funded, decides to pull the pin for financial reasons. What does that mean for you? You want the normal real estate training you've been told a million times? Make cold calls, knock on doors. Best be switching off now, because in this podcast, we go out of the box using unknown tactics, primarily, that the real estate industry's never heard of, in order to get you called in more often, convert those listings, and get more success without the painful cold calling. Listen up, we're in for a ride. This is Real Estate Renegades. So, the breaking news overnight is that seems the bane of all of your existence, Purple Bricks, has decided to pull the pin. So we're going to have a chat today about some of the articles that have been released in the last 24 hours, what that means for you, how you can maximize that, and why you may want to not exactly, have a big party where you dance in the streets and say, oh, ding dong, the witch is dead or whatever. So we're going to go deep dive into what the exit of the most recent cost cutter, flat fee agency, DIY hybrid sale agency, whatever you might call it, what the breaking news overnight means in the last 24 hours or so. Not that it's news to some people who've been, keeping an eye on things, smarter folks than I. Have been predicting this exit for some time. But at the same time, even Luke Anderson at an event that we did recently, he's been number one agency in New South Wales for a period of time, most listings, most sales. And Luke showed a graphic where Purple Bricks pipped him. Now, please understand this. Luke is just a genius. He's the principal of PRD in the Hunter Valley. He, as an agency, was pipped for the number one spot by an entire brand, right? His one agency, his one office there in Maitland there, and I've visited a couple of times. It's very, not a modest office. It's a great office, but Luke crams in maximum amount of productivity into the amount of space that he's got. We did a session in his boardroom where, man, we were crammed in. There was no room for a speaker, so to speak. We were crammed in. I had agents sitting either side of me, like literally. They were looking up at me from a head here, and it was nuts. One agency was just pipped by an entire brand in the state of New South Wales. So I'm sure Luke will be, doing a little high five that he gets his number one spot back, I suspect. But what does that mean for you? Well, let's have a look at what happened in April. I've got some articles that I had a quick look at. In April, they say Purple Bricks vows to stay the course after analysts warn of Aussie experts. So again, clearly they have been predicting, smarter folk than I have been predicting they'll be gone for a period of time. See, the reason I haven't looked into it even up until now, I only just checked it out really now, is I said to many of my guys, if you've got trouble by an agency that charged $4,000 upon listing, and then another $4,000 as a success fee, so $8,000, where $8,000 that your full fee might be $11,000 or $9,000, or in some cases less than $8,000. If you've got trouble being beaten by that particular model, where, to my understanding, and you guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, to my understanding, the seller still has to run all the buyers and do a substantial part of the work. And the sellers are still paying $8,000 as a discounted fee. I mean, this is insane if you're losing to that. So that's, now let's just make sure, am I on here? Because I want to see your comments here. I don't want this to be a one-way dialogue. I want to see what's going on if you guys have any commentary. So I'll just bring up the stream on my other feed over there so that we can talk about it. All right. So, good. Bunch of you guys on. So Greg McDaniel, look who's up and moving. Greg, Naomi said I went back to sleep. I did not. I understand that our meeting at 7 a.m., Naomi told me that our third party, me, you, and our third party, that was cancelled, that she couldn't make it. So I hit the bricks, my man. I hit the bricks. And I even left my phone at home this time. I often do take my phone and listen to a podcast. Often I listen to the Great Real Estate Uncensored, Mr. McDaniel. But this morning I did just take off and I did what Jared Carmen said to do, and that's a gratitude walk. So that's what I did this morning at 7 a.m. So, all right. So let's have a chat. What did you guys think? Let's start with what did you guys think a month ago? What did you guys, and feel free to share this so we can get as many agents on here, get some commentary as we can. So to bring our international folk up to speed, the great Greg McDaniel from Real Estate Uncensored is on. Greg, we might get your commentary. Maybe you and I will do an interview to this effect in the upcoming days. A cost-cutting agency, let's call it a DIY sale hybrid, charging almost as much as a full fee agency, funnily enough, overnight has announced them exiting their Australian attempts after their Australian push, after having some success and causing the derision of, many agents, being upset about their existence. Oh, heaven forbid, flat fee or blah, 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 And so my first contention was for the last year is if you're beaten by someone charging a whole bunch of money to not sell a house, but just to list the house, well, where's the motivation to sell the house? You know what I mean? Like, okay, in recent times, they added a success fee because I believe, and I may get the numbers wrong, but I believe the model used to be $4,000 flat fee to list, and then, it sells or it doesn't or whatever. Then it became $4,000 to list and $4,000 as a success fee. So that combined $8,000 where the seller is still running the buyers. How's that ever going to work? Now, have I got some? Oh, okay. I was going to say, I'm sure I heard some sound. It was my voice coming through the little headphone thing. So clearly I know now my sound is working. So to me, it was doomed from the start because I just couldn't get my logic around it. Because many of my guys work in areas where average homes are $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. So full fee is $10,000. How do you lose $8,000 with the sellers doing all the work if your fee's 20% more and you do all the work? To me, it never made sense for you. Here's the ones that I said for you to lose, and this is why you don't get just dancing in the streets. This is why it's not time for a big party. Ding dong, the witch is dead, or whatever it might be. Because don't worry about that. Worry about those ones where you put the seller, pays $200 or $300 or some sort of very minimal amount to get their property up on the portals, and then the sellers run it themselves. So don't worry about the $8,000 DIY hybrid sale model. Worry about the $200 or $300 pay to list model. They're the ones to worry about. So sure, Luke Anderson might have I knew that was coming, it's good. I'll get my number one spot back. Fine. But don't you guys dare rest on your laurels thinking that it's all over. Do you really think that'll be the last one? They've been coming since I started. The first ones that I became aware of were Go Gecko, right? Go Gecko. They came in, they actually got some, I don't know if they're still around, but they got some traction. Then there was one announced by a successful entrepreneur. In fact, I don't know how far they got into this process, but I understand they sold some franchises. There was a company called Refund Home Loans. And then they pitched a thing called Refund Real Estate. And it was supposedly under a bit of a stretch, but it was the same model. Refund Home Loans, what they did was they paid the person who got the loan a portion of the commission that would normally go to the broker in the form of a bonus. And that's why it's like Refund Home Loans. That's what that kind of meant. So Refund Real Estate was kind of a bit of a stretch, but it was like, hey, we'll refund you part of our own commission. So it was a discounter under another name. So, but these things aren't going to go away. I mean, how many of them are there? If you Google it, and I haven't got the graphics on me, but, I've said this at some seminars, there's Buy My Place, there's nocommission.com, there's cuttheagentout.com, there's every manner of companies ready to fill the void that purple bricks are leaving behind. So, that's the breaking news. Let's have a look at some of those articles where, as I just look at my feed there, we're going to have a look at some of the articles, but we'll check in with some of you guys. So Greg McDaniel is with us. Good morning, Greg, sir. Once again, my apologies about this morning. I haven't checked our thread since Naomi said we were cancelled. I just got back on and jumped on this thing, but Naomi told me that She said she told you that I went back to sleep. Greg, I promise you I did not. What is this? What is this sleep concept of which you speak? So Greg, we will talk soon. Daniel says I am live. Thank you, my man. Eden, good morning. Tagging a friend. Thank you, Eden. Jeff Luby says it was never going to work. I don't know, Greg. Jeff, you know, with the right people and play, you know, $8,000 isn't exactly nothing. I would even say it was never going to work. I would even say, Jeff, they almost made it work. So, you know, as Gina Davis said in The Fly, I would say, be afraid, be very afraid. One of my mentors said once, many moons ago, if you're not running your business like it's in chaos, then it soon will be. Right? If you're not, and again, I think he's misquoted himself, and I think it's an even better way when he said it the wrong way. If you're not running your business like it's in crisis, it soon will be. Right? So, yeah, okay, if they've moved, act as though there's another one that's a tenth the price. Act as though there's an $800 cost cutter that's the same service as the big purple giant was. Act as though you know, there's a $500 cost cutter next door. Now justify your $10,000 fee. That's the key, you know. So yeah, it was never going to work. I don't know, Jeff. Assume it was going to work, and what would you do to defend yourself if it was? All right. Hit the bricks, no pun, says Angela. Yeah, I tried to think of a cool pun, and Purple Rain was the best I could come up with this morning. So the Purple Rain ends. There you go. And so Greg is saying, I'd love to chat. So we'll get Greg's take on this, because in the States, they've seen a bunch of cost cutters come and go. Scott Moore says they came here because they couldn't cut it in the UK, so they were never a problem, really. Linda says, hi, Glenn. What's up, handsome? Oh, David Serpa, you. Here I was saying, Glenn Twiddle, what's up, handsome? And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, wow, thanks. I thought it was Naomi for a fraction of a second. It's Mr. Serpa, one of the most successful real estate agents in the state of California. Dave, you are a freaking champion, mate. I got to spend some really cool time with David 6 months ago or so. Well, actually, it's coming on a year ago at the Lab Coat Agents event in San Diego. If you have a look at both David's feed about that time, about July last year, you'll see you'll see our interview. It was a lot of fun. It was great to connect with such an amazing human being, David Serpa, my friend. Thank you, mate. We must connect soon for sure. Peter says they were never a threat, yet another flash in the pan cost-cutting agency, one of many to come and go. Agreed, Peter. The only difference is they had purple bricks and a much bigger marketing budget. Agreed, 1,000%, man. How did all that seed capital that they got go? How'd that all go? That all got, let's just say, thrown up against the wall, didn't it? You know, so all right, David says, when are we kicking off of this event? Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah, David and I have been talking about getting an event going in California. Love to, Dave. And again, we just have to work to provide more value as an industry. 1,000%, David. 1,000%. And I look forward to us locking down some dates for us putting on a really unique event over there in California, bringing exactly that. As an industry, we need to show why we are worth $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 for a month or two. Why is that? You know, I have to give my life, rightly so. I ain't complaining about it. But what you guys ask me to do, if I want to charge you, you know, my one-on-one stuff kind of starts at $36,000 a year for me to work with you personally. There are ways to work with me in groups. That's a fraction of that. But my one-on-one stuff starts at $36,000 a year. So that works out at what's that? $3,000 a month. What you guys ask of me for $3,000 a month, you know, it's substantial. Rightly so. So, what makes you think that 20 grand for a month or two is going to be a walk in the park? You know, so Dave's right. We need to, as an industry, show those sellers why you're worth $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a month of your part-time. You better be able to make that, answer that. I've got a little group at the moment called a Navy SEALs program. Literally, I'm going to close the doors on that today because it's a 90-day program where we are behind closed doors, literally answering that one question. 90 days every day, me and this small group of Navy SEALs. And I'm charging like nothing for it. It's sick. I'm going to charge money for it next time. But yeah, like this time. And look, if you want in, PM me. It's a few bucks just to cover the costs of doing it, but it's not what it should be. And that's what we're dedicated to over the next 90 days. And we've been going for 2 days now. So I will close the doors today because I can't have people joining mid intake. But I'm calling it my Navy SEALs of listing program, for want of a better term, because we're spending literally 3 months answering that question. Why am I worth $10,000 to $15,000 part-time for you to engage me to sell your house? Why is that? Justify that. I mean, logically, look, go back to what you used to do before you were a real estate agent, and you tell me that a couple hours of your time every week, and you're going to earn more from one customer for a couple hours a week than you used to earn from your employer full-time for 3 months. Tell me. Tell me. Answer that question and you are safe from every purple bricks in the frickin' world, right? Every purple bricks in the world. So Dave Serpa, you're a frickin' smart dude, man. All right, Jeff Luby, we're in the people business, not the discount fee business. I agree, Mr. Lubes. Purple Haze, Hendrix says. that did go through my head when I was trying to come up with puns. And now I am going to get to what the articles actually mean in a moment, guys. So I'm just making sure I haven't missed anything in the comments. Some people don't understand value. Agreed. Here is David Serpa has put the interview of me and Dave in the comments down below. So do check that out there. Thank you, Mr. Serpa. Appreciate it. All right. Daniel is saying in a tougher market, watch out for the 1% bottom feeders. Agreed, mate. But then there's the other thing. On $2 million property, that 1% is 20 grand. Justify it. Why is it not 0.25%? Why is it not 5 grand? Tell me. You need to be able to answer that question very clearly to the seller's satisfaction, or you will be the next to go. If purple bricks are vulnerable at $8,000 a pop, where the seller does 3/4 of the work, do you really think you're safe? Best time to upskill, I think, hey? Some of the things we've been talking about for years, for probably a decade. I've been screaming this at many of you guys, and now it's not becoming an option. It's becoming compulsory, and good. We are seeing the biggest exodus of real estate agents in this country in the last decade. Good. They need to come and work for, anyone who leaves needs to come and work for someone who knows what they're doing, because real estate agency is finally a business, a real business. It's not just turn up, be a nice guy and get paid 10 grand for a part-time effort by 10 sellers, getting paid 100 grand a month just to be in the game. Not that easy anymore. And the way it should be, I would suggest. David Serpa says, as a Marine Corps veteran, I love you for this. Sir, as a Marine Corps veteran, I love you right back. Our American brothers, it's like your military. Unfortunately for you and very fortunately for us, we know that we don't have to have as strong a military, and all the love to our military that we do have. But know that it's always good to have an ally like the USA in our corner, huh? So David Serpa, thank you, my man. All right, so that's the comments. So please keep the comments going. I will check in with you in a moment, but here's the article that was a month ago, another lesson to get. A month ago, they said online estate agency Purple Bricks has hit back at warnings, promising they're here to stay. My phone is running off the hook this morning. Oh my God. Let me just put it on silent. It is literally going bananas with notifications from you guys. So that's good. I mean, keep buzzing me if you need me, but boy, oh boy, I'll get to you after this. All right, saying it's still looking to boost the business down under after it spent its seed capital from its investors. It slashed its share price. It's, so there's all this saying, but the CEO saying it's committed to the Australian market. Our transformation over the last 6 months is bearing fruit. So all of this positivity, positive. Its major shareholder sitting tight. In our view, the limitations of the upfront model are being laid bare, and the addressable market is providing much smaller than initially hoped. Okay, so there's some analysts saying it's not working, and a newly installed CEO, Neil and Kenny Bruce, have reportedly overhauled the model so that half the fee is paid up front and half the fee is completion upon sale. Yeah, no, they doubled the fee. They didn't half it on sale. They didn't do that, I don't think. But anyway, and I believe Kenny Bruce, and I may be wrong here, I may be misquoting, but I think less than a month later, he's quit. So it's over, right? It is absolutely over. The Australian Financial Review revealed an exodus of agents last year, allegations of a toxic culture within the company. Now, I'm not saying this is not me. This is just quoting the Australian Financial Review. And that was a month ago. So there's the other thing. Beware of press spin. They're doing anything they could to just say, it's all good, it's all good, we're committed. But you know what? Sometimes the writing on the wall is just that. So same author a month later, Purple Bricks to exit Australia. So after much consideration, made the difficult decision. We've been operating let's have a look. Our present intent is over the next few months, we manage the process for sellers. And look at that. There's Matt Steinway calling me. Matty, I love you, bro. But you know what? I'm going to take the call. I'm just going to say, Mr. Steinway, you are live to Australia. I'm on a breaking news Facebook Live. Is this to tell me, Twids, shut up, you idiot?
What are you doing?
I'm on a Facebook Live just commenting on the exodus of Purple Bricks. I've got you on speakerphone being broadcast to the nation. So say hello to Matt, to the crew. And guys, this is Matt Steinway, possibly the finest real estate agent Australia has ever created. So g'day, Matt. How you doing, mate?
Good. How are you, Twid?
I'm wonderful, my man. Hey, mate, I'll call you back when I'm done on this live. But can I ask you, mate, what's your first take on the overnight news that Purple Bricks are closing up shop? I mean, knowing you, I probably know your answer, but what would you say? Maybe I've got you wrong, but what would you say? Have you even heard?
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Okay, what's your take?
It's like anything. It's all about profit margin, and you got to run your business. So it's no different than agents reducing their fee and using fee as a leverage to secure listings. It's not the tool. You don't secure listings by fee, and it's a good lesson for people. It's about value, and I really do think that all agents in Australia should take note of this. We should all put our fee up and offer more value. And I was speaking to an agent the other day. I don't mind. Have we got 1 minute, please?
For sure, mate. I just hope this is coming through. But yeah, do go ahead. And if it's not, guys, bad luck. And I'll recount what Matt said later. But because I've got you on speaker, it's just a little quiet, but I've got you up against the microphone. So go for it.
All right. Here's a classic example. An agent rang me the other day and said, mate, I just want to be a part of your company. And I said, that's fine. He said, I'm really struggling where I'm at. This is an agency that is in our area. He goes, I'm really struggling where I'm at. I write about 600 to 700 a year. I feel like I've hit a bit of a ceiling in my company, and I'm not getting a lot of guidance. And I spoke to the owner of the agency, and he said, I just keep chipping away. That was his answer to this young guy about how to grow his business. And he said, I'm losing listings. I'm probably listing 2 out of 5. And I said, well, okay, how do we get that to 3 out of 5? And your business would increase 25%, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just by doing that one thing. He said, I don't know. I said, well, what's your point of difference? Why would people employ you? And I said, what do you offer? He said, well, I'm always available. I said, well, if I went into the house and said to the owners, I'm always available too, who would they choose? Oh, I don't know. Good point. I said, what do you actually offer? What's your product? Because you walk into a house with a folder, a bag, and you. So you're the actual product. What is the difference? He goes, I don't know. I said, you answer that question, come back to me, and I'll show you how to double your business.
I love it, mate. And that's, mate, I got through about 10 minutes ago saying those almost word for word. I probably learned those words from you, bro. But if we can answer that question, we don't have a problem from Purple anything or whoever's going to fill the void of who takes their place.
Exactly. So I'll get off the thing. I don't want to take up all your time, but every agent in Australia today should put their fee up and offer more value and move away from this fee cutting ridiculousness, craziness that's going on.
I love it, bro. All right, mate. I'll give you a buzz when I'm done, and let's jump on you and me because if that didn't come out volume wise, and it may have, so I hope it did. But if it does, mate, let's do a live or something and get some lessons out there to the crew. Thanks again, Matty. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Ring me and we'll jump on and do it.
Will do. All right, bro. See you, mate. Later, man. There you go, folks. The great Matt Steinway. I hope you caught that. If not, I'll get him on, and we will we'll impart some of those lessons. But effectively, he was saying, okay, I don't know how, okay. He said, put your fee up and offer more value. I would say offer more value first, then put your fee up, right? I would say it goes in the other direction. But yeah, so, it's getting back to, before being rudely interrupted by Australia's #1 real estate agent, #1 in McGrath, one of the most skilled agents and best blokes I've ever seen. And look at the class of that man, by the way. Someone calls him up and says he wants to join his business. What does Matt do? He doesn't say, sure, come and work for me. He calls the principal of the agency and, kind of says, how can I help? Pretty cool dude, our Matt. So, they say our intent is to minimize disruption for our people and our customers, but they are winding down. They are taking no further listings in Australia. So that's that. It's all done for the purple ones, but the overwhelming, if you listen to me and Matt, the review is just because they're gone, there will be one to take their place. There will be, so Wayne is saying loud and clear. I can hear him. Oh, wonderful. That's really good. I'm glad he could come through. So that's good. So you guys heard his take. So no, I'm stoked about, so give me a sec. Let me just scroll down on these comments. Cool. So yeah, look, I'm stoked for you guys. There is a better opportunity now than ever before to answer that question for a seller. Why should I sell with you above any and all of the opportunities that are in our marketplace, including selling it themselves or going to one of these hybrid, whether they are cost cutting, whether they are pay a few $100s and the company will put it up on realestate.com, domain.com and all of those sorts of things. And Matt has said, put your fee up and offer more value. I say do the same things and do it in the offer, in the reverse order. But here's the problem. When Matt asked that question of a very experienced agent in his area, why should I sell with you? And his only answer was, I'm always available. Well, you know what? Give me 20 grand for a month and I'll always be available. Don't know if I'll do anything for you, but I'll be there. I'll be there for you. You can call me up and say, Glenn, I'm not getting as many listings as I want. Oh, gee, really? Okay, maybe you should try harder. There you go, 20 grand. No. If you're going to pay me 20 grand a month, and no one does, by the way, that fee's even a bit high for me, right? But if you're going to pay me 20 grand for a month, I better be there. Well, you know what? Some people did pay me $11,000 for a week, right? A week. We were in this room and we lived, breathed. You know what? You guys asked me for $11,000 for 1 week. You guys asked me to wake up at 5 a.m. in order to prepare for my day, to start working with you one-on-one in a small group of like half a dozen people till about 10 at night. Then me and Naomi, prepared for the next day and sort of finished and started prepping, got to bed about 1 a.m., then got up at 5 a.m. the next day and worked for you full time with my full team of like 6 or 7 of my staff descending on you and revolutionizing your marketplace for 5 days straight. That's what it takes for me to answer the question for you. Why should I give you $10,000, Glenn, for a week of your time? Well, it's not just your time. It's your time, Naomi's time, 3 staff members, a professional photographer, a video editor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. God knows how many hundreds of hours you guys asked me for $11,000. And I know I've sold properties in less than 10 hours. So I guess I'm wondering if the consumers are now asking you to justify your $11,000, $12,000, $15,000, $8,000 with a better answer than I'll work hard, I'll get you the highest price, all unjustified. I reckon the consumers are finally going to be starting to ask that question more and more. And clearly, Purple Bricks were unable to answer that question for $8,000. What makes you think you can answer that question for $11,000 moving forward? I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you ponder that. Now, like I said, today is your last chance to join. There'll probably be maybe 10 of us to join me by application only. I will be talking to you one-on-one to see if you're a good fit for this Navy SEALs thing. 90 days. Do not message me if you're not willing to give 1 hour a day to this effort, to this group. There's a reason I've called it Navy SEALs. We do have a Marine on here, ex-military David Serpa. I believe the SEALs is a division of the Marines. I may be wrong. but understand that you're committing to your career and you're committing to a group of people who are equally committed to their careers, and you're going to be working as a team to perfect nothing. No marketing, nothing. Listing presentation. Your answer to the question, why should I list with you above all the options that are available in the marketplace? That is what we are going to be doing. And applications close today. So I'll be spending all day on the phone with you guys. I have a bunch of applications I need to call today. Luke, yes, I'm calling you. Graham, I'm calling you. There's a bunch of people that I've been swapping SMSs with yesterday. We'll be talking today. And we're going to be rocking. All right. So final words from you guys. Price is an issue in the absence of value. I agree, sir.